Had Shopify existed then, we would have been having a different conversation because there wasn't a thing called Shopify in the early days of ASOS.
My experience of Shopify before I joined fusefabric was purchasing from smaller companies, smaller brands. I would never have thought a brand as big as Bowden would be using Shopify.
I think most people associate Shopify with sort of the SME sector. And so there's this perception that, it's not quite ready for enterprise yet in terms of the non-functional sort of process requirements that sort of larger businesses require.
And I think one of the common kind of arguments from Shopify, or should I say people who are against Shopify as a platform, is that Shopify is a slow platform.
When we saw Shopify for the first time, we were taken aback. This is really good. This is a game changer. And we just saw how quickly we could deliver business value with it. So seeing that, we thought, let's get on the journey. Let's be the first to market with it. And let's see, where we can take it, because we saw how quickly we could change a business and, in the right direction. And we wanted to do that at scale, at enterprise.
I'm a recent convert to Shopify. So Simon PJ working with Shopify, and it's like, what are those guys doing? And it sounds quite interesting in terms of where they're at and what's going on. So it's quite a paradigm shift when you start to think and really look under the covers at what Shopify has to offer. Because there's so much in the platform, you've got to start to think a bit differently in terms of how you adopt it, and you can truly embrace the concept of an MVP. And really, it's not an MVP, because with most clients we get sort of feature parity, which given the enterprise sector where everything's complex and everything's difficult, is pretty amazing.
If this didn't exist, you essentially start from zero every single time. We're starting from 25, so we're already ahead of the curve in that respect. And because all of our team behind the scenes across all of our clients are using this platform, we can actually move engineers around, and there's little to no ramp up speed or onboarding. So that, from a client perspective, is a good thing. Also, from a Shopify point of view, Shopify brings itself a whole ecosystem to the organization, where historically they would have had to develop the website and all of the component parts that is Shopify. Now there's a organization that is solely there for that web e-commerce experience, and where we glue the enterprise together is behind the scenes through website development, but also the integration of your enterprise platforms behind the scenes. The fact that it does an element of translation, so multilingual, multi-currency, cross-border capabilities, and things like that, to reduce the complexity that an organization has to go through straight from day one, essentially. So when you move onto the Shopify platform, you get, 3/4 of the things that you would need are already delivered on the Shopify platform.
You've got a lot of key Shopify developers out there in the ecosystem that you should be following. You should understand what they're building. And it doesn't necessarily mean the bigger the developer, the better the solution. We've seen small scale bedroom developers develop robust solutions for Shopify and seen them scale at mass. There's a number of apps, what I'm aware of, that have been able to scale on the Shopify platform. So driving that innovation is key, but the key part of it is keeping your finger on the pulse, knowing what Shopify's providing from an API perspective, but also what you can do with them APIs has been amazing.
The difference is the amount of investment that Shopify is putting into the platform. And if you look at the analysts, most of the analysts are putting Shopify on a comparator with most of the leaders in the e-com sector. So, their view is that, they've reached that sort of level.
I think Shopify are very good at understanding what are new requirements in the business world and what is happening, and how do they kind of like move that forward within themselves. And so for us, it's very much about aligning with them, ensuring that we're watching those quarterly updates, and actually how do we then support them to support the business, support their clients and us at the same time. So it's kind of a bit of a marriage between all of us, just to then kind of deliver an excellent product to the customer at the end of the day.
So it's like we're complementing those features that Shopify are doing, and also doing our own stuff and making sure that we're not like being left behind, that we're also in front of that and being innovative, just as Shopify is too.
Yeah, I think the Bowden project's been amazing for that, because I think it's such a large client, it's so well known, and it's just got such a strong standing in the marketplace. So for them to work with Shopify and say, these are what I need, it's been amazing for us to kind of work with them and actually produce some features that we know that worldwide are going to be used, and actually they're just going to make life so much easier. Like, at the end of the day, you want tech to support you, that you want it to make your job better, you want it to make that sale with the client easier. And so I think it's just ensuring that everyone's working towards that end goal, and I think that's where it's such a good partnership, and it's so fun, and it's been amazing working with the Bowden team to kind of hear what they've wanted to do to kind of progress all of our work.
So we started with Missima, a fantastic jewellery brand. We've also run e-commerce for Flying Tiger, doing a very large transformation for Bowden, Newcastle Football Club, Pentland Brand Group. We focus on complex organisations because we know how to navigate them. The challenge at an enterprise level is not if Shopify can do it, because we know it can. It's a question of how do I bring it back into my existing systems. You know, they can't swap out all their legacy systems, and they can't, you know, change their whole business in one go. So we find a way to weave Shopify in as quickly as possible so they can start delivering business value whilst they're maintaining their old systems. And we've done this over you know, the last 20 years. We've met various different platforms, and now we've really kind of homed it around Shopify and how quickly you can get it up and running.
The types of brands we're working with, they're not small scale. They're obviously, as the name suggests, enterprise client, and they're household brands what we've been brought up amongst. So the likes of Speedo, Berghaus.
The Shopify advantages for Bowden from a front-end perspective means that the Shopify theme customizer is a lot more accessible. They can make changes really quickly. With their legacy systems, there would be a longer time to make changes, to implement them into the web store. But with Shopify, it's a lot easier for the content teams to be able to go in and make instant changes. You know, they can rearrange the pages, the headers, the footers, and they've definitely already seen some benefits in what Shopify can offer them in terms of flexibility and speed to go live.
We were able to stand up a demo store for the brands we're working with, you know, in a matter of hours, right? So, and having that demo store there, people can touch and feel it. So not thinking about requirements now, they're thinking about training, they're thinking about how they're going to have to change their teams to use the system, because they can see it and they can touch it and they can feel it. So, and by seeing that demo store, they can see how they're going to save costs, how they're going to get to market quicker. Yeah, so it just helps bring it all to life.
Being exposed to multiple clients, multiple Shopify solutions, you understand what is good and what is bad. And being able to deploy that at scale, you then have to think about a full end-to-end workflow, which not only works from an individual perspective, from a client side solution, but more so from a agency side solution. So making sure that it's scalable, making sure every developer understands it, making sure that the kind of code standards, practices all align, so everyone's basically singing from the same hymn sheet. Just the front end of a Shopify website is the tip of the iceberg, especially from an enterprise perspective. You've got to think about change management. You've got to think about all the integrations into whether it's your ERP system, order management system. So we take it end to end from a complete 360 solution.
It's a mixture of making sure fusefabric behind the scenes, we've got the right people in the organization, giving them the opportunity and time to develop or think of solutions or whatever it ends up being, but also getting to work across multiple clients. They get exposed to different ways of working, different processes, different organizations and things like that. So that in itself helps.
So typically the CTO is being pushed by the board, how much, how long, and we want to get there quickly, right? So that's probably the big pressure on the shoulders of the CTO at this point, and we can come in and help them with that. So we help draw out a plan, we help draw out costs and a timeline as well. So yes, essentially we help them with that big problem they've got.
The pillars that we're trying to look at is faster, better, more cost effective from a client's perspective, but also from our perspective, because we're not just working with a single client, we actually look at multiple clients. So we've developed our own platform internally called Fuse 3.0, which from a client's perspective will see it as a theme, but internally we get to reutilize all of those core components across multiple clients.
Feedback plays like a really big role in when we're building our roadmap, because we could build features, but if the clients don't actually need them or use them, then it's a bit pointless. So we take feedback, regular feedback from them, and when we deliver what they ask for, and especially if it's make a big impact to them right now, then it really helps that solidify that relationship and that confidence that we are the right partner for them and that we're delivering what they've asked for when they need it as well.
When you sit with the client and you understand the issues and you're sat thinking, okay, I can do this like this, we can do this like this, that we've always been in these discovery sessions knowing that we've had this situation previously, we've got the solutions for it. We're probably one of the key Shopify partners who have pushed Shopify to its absolute limits. And we not only do this once, we've done it multiple times. We've done it across the board, across multiple verticals, across multiple brands. Bringing scalability to Shopify is key, and understanding where you can take your business from a small, medium-sized business all the way to enterprise on the Shopify platform. Today, you can do that.